Hi, I'm Phil Grandy. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativegroup.com.
License number A1900020.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
Money's coming.
Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm sent the broad indexes to a new high for the year, just ahead of a crucial monthly employment report. The S.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, I told everybody last week when we had that big rally in the tech, and we had that big gap up on Nvidia. I said I said this. We came back from Memorial Day. I said on Tuesday morning, I said you watch. I said you're going to see a rotation. I said first of all, I said we'll know on Thursday what they're up to. We'll know on Thursday what the market's going to do. There's going to be some announcement or something, but we'll know on Thursday what's going on with this market. This was after that big gap up in Nvidia. And I also said to him that same day at about 8 or 8:30, I sent an alert to all my gang members that also watch a rotation out of the tech stocks going into oil stocks and oil and bank stocks. There's going to be a rotation because these tech stocks are so overbought. I mean, you got so many tourists like today. I mean, just amazing. The tourist traders, as we call them, are jumping in these tech stocks. They didn't get in January, February, and March like we did. They're getting in now. I even tell my new members who are starting with us, do not go into these big tech stocks. Don't go into Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Nvidia. You got to be nuts. You had to go into those when we did in January, in February, even March. That was it. If you didn't get in, now you start chasing these, you're going to get killed because now they just going with this AI and they went nuts. And it was bad enough with the AI. Then they turned around last week and combined it with all this happy talk. Oh, they're going to sign. Like we didn't know, they're going to sign the debt ceiling bill. And that was a real big play in that big rally. And I knew it was going to continue. But I also knew that these tech stocks were about over. If you look at Apple today, hardly doing anything. You got a market this big. This is mostly all short covering, by the way. This is not new money coming. This is short covering. Remember how when you're going, we've been through this. How many times have we been through this? And then 2 days later, you give it all back. So, and then yesterday, exactly what I said would happen, happened. That they would make some sort of announcement, and they did. And they did. The fake Business News Network. Unbelievable. So, they had all this happy talk going on. And then yesterday, they turned around and they said that, here, I'll just play you the cut. This is unbelievable what they said yesterday. You just listen to the cut. Let's see. Let's see. Which one is it?
Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm sent the broad indexes to a new high for the year, just ahead of a crucial monthly employment report. The S&P 500 rose 1% Thursday, carrying it to another 9-month high, up 10% for 2023. An upbeat read on private sector hiring and benign prices paid numbers in a manufacturing report, combined with remarks from Federal Reserve officials in recent days, signaling a pause in interest rate hikes at the mid-June meeting.
Okay, now, here's what he's saying. You notice he was talking about how the S&P was up another 9-month high, up 10%. But he never mentioned that they're still struggling. We still have the S&P still has to go up another 14%. Remember, this has been, the last time we hit this high was in November, the tech stocks, in November of 2021. The S&P, January 2022. We still haven't recovered, and there's still another 14%. But he didn't mention that either. But more important is he's talking about manufacturing. He says, cost of manufacturing goods are benign, as there is no demand for, they're benign? Well, of course they're benign. There's no pricing power. There's no demand. In fact, he never mentioned that we had the Chicago manufacturing report come out last week that was so bad. They said that the orders were so bad, I mean no orders, because there's no demand. And by the way, all of these small businesses which drive this country are bloated with inventory, In fact, he never mentioned the fact that you take all the box ships, the big ships, the containers, a third of that, they're canceling up to almost a third of the ship's capacity. So they can't even fill their ships up. That's how demand has dropped. And when you look at gas, if you look at oil a year ago was at $122 a barrel. Today's at $71 a barrel. That tells you there's no demand. So he doesn't mention anything about demand and bloated inventory. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, he just comes out and says everything's rosy. So first of all, going back to my comments, the cost of manufacturing goods are benign, as I said, because there's no demand, there's no pricing power, because the consumer is cutting back. The consumer is out of money. We know that, okay? And as I say, the poor businesses, they got inventory so backed up that they don't know what the hell to do. And then what this really proves, what I'm getting at, is they never mention what's really going on here is that it proves that once you stop with this stimulus, once you stop printing all this money to stimulate the economy, just like I told you, what's been driving this market, the tech stocks 1,400% from 2008 to 2023, is liquidity. It's a stimulus. You keep printing money, put in the market, and it will push stocks up. But remember, once you stop this stimulus into the economy, you're dead. Once you stop printing $750,000 to put fire alarms into the Metropolitan Opera, or you print $3 million for an LGBTQ lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender queer museum. Once you stop printing and putting into the system $200 million for the Gender Equality and Quality Action Fund, once you stop printing and putting into the system $7.5 million for studying the domestic radicalization phenomenon, and once you stop printing $3.6 million for the Michelle Obama hiking trail, not to mention $6 trillion for the American COVID Act, $750 billion for the Inflation Reduction Act, and this guy makes it sound like, wow, we're on our way. They're not going to raise rates anymore. That is not true. If they stop raising rates in June, you will never see the target of 2% inflation. Never. You'll never. If they give up fighting inflation, you're going to see this market just totally collapse. Because what's collapsing around the market? See, everybody's looking at one thing. No, I'm sorry. Everybody's looking at four things: Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and NVIDIA. But take a look at them today. They're not the drivers of this rally. The drivers of this rally is all the short covering, because people are shifting out of those stocks, going into oil stocks and the laggers. This is how crashes begin. So the leadership, which should have been banks for the last 14 years, have been the tech stocks. You got to have the banks, but the banks are in such deep trouble. Such deep trouble. But nobody wants to talk about that either. So today they came out with this report, labor report. Everybody's excited, even though wages are still under, or way under inflation. More when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy this stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com. What, are you nuts? Coffee's up 92%. Lumber's up 67%. Heating oil, what, 60%? Gasoline, 55%? I understand why you guys are telling me to raise my rates here at Phil's Gang, but we haven't raised our rates since 2001. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I'm not going to raise my rates. Our membership's been $39.95 since 2001, and for a good reason. So that you have enough room that when you do make money here at Phil's Gang, and you will, because you're going to learn how to short stocks, that there's enough room to send some money to St. Jude. That's why we never raised our price. And that's why we give you good value. So, you want to continue with good value, good information, be on the right side of the market? Join my gang, philsgang.com, where the price has not moved, where we fight inflation. philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
If you look at some of the drivers of consumer spending, there are an increasing number of headwinds. We're still in an environment of high inflation. And more importantly for consumers, high prices, we have high interest rates, and we have fundamentals that supposedly drive consumer spending that are softening. The labor market is cooling. We're seeing increased evidence of excess savings being drawn down, and we have credit conditions that are tightening. Those are all headwinds for consumer spending.
But that's the opposite of what the fake Business News Network said yesterday. Yesterday he was telling us everything was upbeat. Manufacturing was upbeat. Are you kidding? And today the labor market's upbeat. Give me a break. You know, when you have in a middle recession like this, a whole bunch of jobs coming in, and most of those jobs, majority of those jobs were government jobs. Something like 56 or 60,000 of those jobs were government jobs. And most of those jobs are part-time jobs and jobs that people pick up for, you know, to have an extra job. These aren't like good jobs. You always gotta go back to, if your economy's doing well and it's growing, it grows from productivity. It grows from having your companies plow in their profits for new machinery, business investment as we call it, so they can increase productivity. And when you increase productivity, everything works. You're growing the country. But for 14 years, since 2008 to November of 2022, remember, they didn't care about growing the economy. All they cared about was growing the stock market. And all they did is keep pumping liquidity into the market. Now you got to get that liquidity out, and they can't get it out. They can't get it out fast enough. Because when you raise rates to get the liquidity out, as I said yesterday, you're killing trade. You're killing what's going on with all our S&P 500 companies. About most of them, 40 to 50 to 60% of their profits come from overseas. But when you keep raising rates to fight inflation, you're killing their revenues. And that's what's been going on. But nobody cared. Nobody cared about killing their revenues as long as stock prices kept going up, especially tech stocks. Tech stocks right now are so crazy. Look, I'm not complaining. Look, we just did the numbers today. Microsoft, okay, we got in we got our first in January. We got in. It was up 17%. Then we got out. Then we got back in again, up 12%. And then we got the same thing with NVIDIA. We got in January. I told my members, the new members are coming in now. They all want to get in these same four stocks. I told them, no, you got to be out of your mind. If you didn't get in January, February, or March, you shouldn't be getting in. We got in January in NVIDIA at about $169, and yeah, I think it was like $169. That was in January, anyways. Let me see. Just let me get it for you. In January it was we got in around let's see, yeah, it was $169, right? 170. We got it around 170, and today it's 393. I mean, that's what? That's 130%. Now, I'm not saying that our members collected a whole 130%, but they got a good portion of it. Some got in later, some got early. But my point is, our color-coded chart on this stock stayed solid green. So even if you got 20% of it, 15% of it, 10% of it, so what? But this, and look at today, it's not going up. Look at it can't make the high of May 30th. It can't take out that high. What do you think that means? These are going to correct. And if you people are, I told my members today, look, keep taking our profits, stay in with smaller shares in these four tech stocks, and we'll ride them until they just don't work anymore. And we'll start shorting them. That's the beautiful thing about shorting. And the beautiful thing about the color-coded chart, it'll tell us when money's coming out because it turns red. Yours doesn't. Our chart will tell us, first it turns yellow, warning us that the institutions are pulling your money out. So that was NVIDIA. So that was over 130%. Apple, same thing. Apple we got in, it was up about in January. That was up about 27%. So Microsoft, I already did that one, up 17% and 12%. and I didn't have time to I did Microsoft, Meta, Apple. I didn't have time to do the others. But my point is, you can't be jumping in these now. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, the banks, they're going to, now people are going to the banks. The only reason I told my members to shift from tech to the banks, because there's going to be a big short covering. And shift to oil stocks, there's going to be a big short covering. But that's all it's going to be. We have nowhere else to go but down. You can't sit when you have a global economy and you look and box ships are all pretty much empty. It wasn't long ago they could put up any price. People, manufacturers all over the world. Germany, and by the way, Germany's falling apart. Germany's going into a big recession. China's going into a big recession. What do you think we're in? Oh, we're not in a recession. Things are good because NVIDIA's up. I get it. NVIDIA's up again. So NVIDIA's up 123%, so there's no recession. Everything's on NVIDIA. Oh, my God. And everybody wears blinders. They don't understand. Unless we're stimulating this company with printing money, as we did with this stupid omnibus bill, where we put all this money into the LGBTQ stuff and $750,000 to give the Metropolitan Opera, they better give them a fire alarm. Oh hell, they can't get caught in a fire. And $7.5 million for domestic radicalization phenomena, whatever the hell that is. So, just continue to stay in your tech stocks if you're in them, okay? But very few shares. Put a stop in, and let's see what happens in the next couple of days when they're going to give us a signal they're going to correct 5 to 7%. Most people are going to get caught, and they're going to lose money. And I'll guarantee you not many are shifting to the banks like we did, okay? And we said to do that on Tuesday to the banks and oil. We'll be right back. Join my gang, philsgang.com, $39.95 a month. That's it, 10 days free.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day it goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Are you tired of being lied to about some magical economic recovery that only benefits the 1%? And then when the market does collapse, you're sitting there calling your broker, what do I do? When you should be shorting? Learn how to short the market. Continue to listen to my radio show, philsgang.com. Become a member, only $39.95 a month, and learn how to short.
Don't wait. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in a down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
You know, you got to love the timing. When we got the worst report, the Chicago manufacturing numbers, right? It was like Monday or Tuesday last week. I mean, they're deplorable. And then you get the same thing. You get numbers on ocean box shipping. You know, the big ocean freight liners, they're dying. They got more open space than they know what to do with. They're dying. And then at the same time, we got a report that we're in a total global recession because of the fact that the inventory all over the world is backing up because we can't sell anything. There's no demand. That's when they come out with all this happy talk. And get this, the biggest part of this rally today is because they said that the Federal Reserve, members of the Federal Reserve say there's not going to be a rate hike, okay, in June. Members. There was no members. One guy. Now listen to this one dope. His name is Jefferson, okay? He's a Fed guy, okay? He's a governor, I don't know from where, I think Atlanta or somewhere, but anyways.
Before I begin, let me remind you that the views I will express today are my own and not necessarily those of my colleagues in the Federal Reserve System. A decision to hold our policy rate constant at a coming meeting should not be interpreted to mean that we have reached the peak rate for this cycle.
There you go. Doesn't mean it's over. If they pause, they would go higher. But listen to this.
Skipping a rate hike at a coming meeting would allow the committee to see more data before making decisions about the extent of additional policy firming.
Unbelievable. One guy. You know how many times, if there's going to be a rate hike, what they do is they send them all out on all the shows. I know. I've been doing this for over 50 years. They send them out, each one of them, they start rolling them out one at a time. So they're all out there before the June meeting. Give me a break. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, but you never can convince people that we have a global crisis, that we have a global recession. You're never going to convince people, okay, that people are tapped out. You're never going to convince people that wages, okay, they come out with the wages today, right? Guess what? All I care about, I don't care about their job numbers. Those job numbers are so phony. You know, we've had now, I think it's been what, 17, I'm sorry, we've had 18 rate hikes, but we've had, I think it was the last 18 or 20 reports. When they come out, they say, and they tell you how many jobs are going to be coming out. They're always way above. Can't anybody count? So 18 reports they've always missed. They always came out with far more jobs than they said they were going to. That's to make us feel good. I wouldn't depend on that. There's only one place you can go to find out how many people have a job: Social Security office, because withholding tax. And there's nowhere near what they're talking about. But anyways, but getting back to the market for one moment. Caterpillar, that's another one that we told our members to shift their money to Caterpillar, just like we had them shift their money to, what was the other swing trade? GDX. So we said, do a swing trade on Caterpillar. Take money from your tech stocks, and because we made a lot of money, just shift it over to industrial. They'll go up. They'll cover their short positions. And Clorox went up in a couple of days 9%. Not new money come in, the short's covering. Now you're going to know, if you know what you're doing, you're going to know if this, when you look at Clorox snapping back, Colgate snapping back, Kellogg snapping back, all these guys snapping back, which we shorted them all, you're going to know if these are for real in a couple days. Because on my chart, they're still red. That means there's not enough money to continue them going up. They only could go up for a swing trade. A swing trade means on our Pro 1 chart, it tells you do a swing trade 1 or 2 days. But as an investment, no way. No way. A position trade, no way. It's still red. So you got, and here's the thing, the trend, even though it's going up, the trend is still going down. So on our chart, which we designed, you don't find us anywhere else. On our charts, when you got Colgate going back up, you look and the trend is still down, and Colgate is red, is telling you it's not going to be sustainable. Not going to be sustainable. It's the highest probability it's going to come right back down. So so having that chart that tells you that follows the money, not the BS, not these guys. They're telling you everything's just wonderful, right? It's not. So we'll see on all these stocks that they're like all the Cloroxes and Cokes and all these stocks everybody runs to, right, for protection. They all got screwed, and we shorted them, and they all ran over to the tech stocks. Now they're going to get screwed in the tech stocks. Unbelievable. It just doesn't work. All right, I want to move on to, before I run out of time. You know, we were talking the other day about how the hell could we have the worst. I mean, how did the 4 banks that went down, 3 of those banks are the biggest, okay, banks to fail ever, even in 2008. These 3 of those 4 banks were far bigger than the ones that collapsed in 2008. Not only that, 3 of those banks did more damage than the 25 banks that first collapsed in 2008. But I want you to think about this. The Senate and House Banking Committee, right? The Senate Banking Committee, House Banking Committee are the most powerful committees in Washington. Who sits on those committees? You have that crazy lady, what's her name? Waters, right? Is that her name? And you have Maxine Waters, and then you have, who's the Indian? What's her name? Pocahontas, I can't think of her name. Elizabeth Warren. They sit on these committees. They're always yelling at everybody, okay? You mean they didn't pay attention? Here's what I'm saying. So the Senate, House, and Bank Committee, the two most powerful committees in Washington, they are responsible for keeping our economy, our nation, on sound footing. Our economy and our nation. To monitor our country's assets and, most importantly, our country's banks. Under the Federal Reserve, the banks, okay, especially the small regional banks, were struggling because, remember, they weren't making money because they kept rates too low for too long. And remember, for extra revenue, these banks went to the Federal Reserve. These banks went to the Senate, House, and Bank Committee and said, we want to buy treasuries. Because at that time, they were getting money. The Fed would give them money free, zero, and they go buy 10-year treasuries that were yielding 1.25%, 2%. So we can make up our losses by buying treasuries. Okay, do it. But wait a minute. What happened? They're supposed to monitor. That's their job. Waters and whatever her name, Pocahontas there. Warren, they're supposed to monitor this. So are you telling me when they gave them the go-ahead to go buy treasuries, they're giving them 1% to 2%, a VIG, we'll call it, okay, where they're making some money because they weren't making money on their loans. Why weren't they monitoring that? I mean, when they had a meeting, the Senate banking committees and the Federal Reserve all got together and said, yes, let them do that. And they all got together after and said, let's start raising rates to 4.5%, 5%. Didn't anybody in that committee, Warren or Waters, say, wait a minute, these banks are loaded up with treasuries only getting 1% to 2%. We're going to raise rates to 5.25%. We're going to put them out of business. Not a word. Not a word. They had control over it. They let it happen. That's their job, is to oversee. Why? And the same thing, they did the same thing. Think about this. They did the same thing with inflation. Remember, budget deficits. That's what leads to inflation. And remember, the deficits that Biden were running were incredible. In fact, he ran a back-to-back deficit. Where were they on this? Talk more about that and stocks when we get back. Gang, philsgang.com. Where it says get started.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
Thinking about investing in the stock market? Go to philsgang.com, where we have over 50 years experience in trading and investing in the stock market. Phil's Gang teaches you how to make profits in the market with stock chart analysis, up-to-the-minute alerts, and always keeping you informed with professional guidance in long and short-term positions. Go to philsgang.com or call one of our professional staff to answer your questions. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Stop wondering about your financial future and start doing something about it.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60, 70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, good afternoon, gang. It's Steve Celeste here with philsgang.com. Just wanted to tell you how to get engaged with Phil's Gang and how to become part of the Phil's Gang membership, or how to try us for 10 days free. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's www.philsgang.com, and click on Get Started at the top of the website. Click on the big red banner that says Working Investor 10-day free trial, and that's all you got to do. And hey, while you're at the website, why not stop by our gift shop, see if there's something in there for you or for somebody you know. All right, thanks, and back to you, Phil.
Thank you, Steve. You know, if you join the gang, as I told you, for 10 days, you don't have to pay anything. And you're going to have the best knowledge in 10 days free. All we ask at the end of 10 days, if you don't continue with us and you go out and you make money with our knowledge, every once in a while, just send a little money to St. Jude. I think that's fair. Now, okay, so we had this big short covering rally. That's what this is, a short covering rally, okay? Massive short. We've been through these before. It can't hold. Now, it's all based on one guy. You heard I played the cuts for you. He didn't say, we're definitely turning around, we're not going to raise. He didn't say that. And when you get a number this hot, every time before we got a number this hot, what would happen? The market would tank, because you know you would go on and raise rates to fight that inflation number, which means all these jobs. Remember the idea behind killing jobs. Powell's idea is keep raising rates, punish small businesses where all the jobs come from. All of a sudden their inventory starts to back up, because when you keep raising rates, people cut back on spending. Let them suffer through all this inventory buildup. They can't sell their goods. Then keep raising rates, and eventually they have to fire the employees, lay them off. And that's what we need. We need a boatload of employees laid off, so once they don't have an income, they stop going shopping, spending, they stop, and then inflation comes out. That's his plan. He hasn't achieved that yet. When you get, what we had, 300 and some odd thousand jobs today? I don't believe the number, not for a moment, but let's just use their fake number. So why is it, this is the only time that the market went up? They're celebrating 300,000 jobs? They're celebrating inflation? Who's running this train?
But here's where it really gets bad. If you think for a moment, and I'm not saying that we've been trading these. We traded the tech stocks from January. We shorted and turned around and we shorted all the Coca-Colas and Clorox, all those staple stocks. I mean, we've been on the right side of every trade. So if you want to do that, just join us for 10 days. It doesn't cost you anything. And we got a color-coded chart that works. Many people who try to imitate my color-coded chart all over the place. Mine works because we stay right with you with that color-coded chart on every trade. We stay right with you. So check it out. By the way, remember the deficits. Deficits are cruel because deficits, like Biden went nuts. Spending going crazy, spending going wild. He just keeps spending and spending. We're spending more than our income. So that means we have deficits. And deficits are what is linked to inflation. And inflation is the biggest threat to our entire economy. And it's a bigger threat. Most presidents, almost all presidents except for Biden, all of them look at, even going back to Lincoln, even going back to Washington, all they would talk about is they got to make sure there's no inflation or as little as possible because it's a real threat. It's a bigger threat than war, bigger threat than an act of terrorism, bigger threat than the pandemic we had, COVID. Yes, and inflation is a far more, or it's a bigger threat than the environment. And what has Biden been doing? He's running up historic deficits. Back-to-back deficits. This is crazy. But the Senate and House Banking Committee failed to monitor the deficits. They didn't monitor the banks, and they knew damn well when the banks were buying 10-year treasuries that the minute they started to raise rates above those treasury numbers or those percentages, the banks would be in deep trouble. They would fail, and they did. But they didn't stop it. Just like now, no matter, same thing with deficits. They don't monitor deficits. They don't care how bad they are. They just let them go on. They just let them go on. And they don't care. They don't. Why you would think they would care that the consequences of deficits are horrendous. Higher inflation, decrease in savings, decrease in income, higher interest rates. Your economy just comes down, slows down to nothing. We see that. Our economy's not even 1% right now, right? Manufacturing, look at that. It goes to hell. New orders, the worst ever. I mean, there's nothing good. That's why they feel it's a bigger threat than war. Even the Romans didn't want inflation. That's how bad, but we don't care. Why is it our Congress doesn't care? Why is it I shouldn't say our whole Congress, of course not, but the people who really run Washington, who really run the swamp, what do they want? Why would they let these banks go down? They knew they're letting them go down on purpose because they want one bank. They want one world bank. The other thing, who's in charge of all this? The Democrats. They opened the border, right? They want all these people coming in screaming for, hey, I want you to take care of me. Give me free this, give me free that. They want all these people coming in, millions of people, 10, 50 million people, having to depend on government. Now, if they don't, because the reason they don't care about inflation, because they want small businesses, especially the middle class who run small business, to go out of business. They want the middle class to be gone. So if we have a whole bunch of people, okay, that there's no more middle class, and they all depend and screaming for benefits and help from the government, that's how Venezuela forms. That's how Cuba formed. That's how all these countries form. That's where we're heading. Did you see that mayor from Chicago, Lightfoot, or Heavy Head, what's her name? Lightfoot, Heavy Head, something like that. She now is going to Harvard. She's going to be a professor at Harvard. Imagine sending your kid to Harvard and pay, what, 80 grand a year? You got Heavy Head teaching? You got Heavy Head, Lightfoot teaching your kid? A communist? It's every time a Democrat screws up, Bedabaugh or Budabaugh, whatever the hell his name, transportation. You watch, he'll end up at Princeton. Everybody on Biden's cabinet, they'll end up at Princeton, at Harvard. They all get these professors. Can you imagine this? So what we got to do is this. Forget all that stuff. Just put your head down, watch the market with the right tools, follow the money. And once you have the skill to sell short, that's the biggest piece that's missing here. People don't know how to sell short. They're scared to death to sell short. That's why 80% of you lose money. Look at your 401ks. And all these people are now listening, oh no, this market's going up. Oh no, look at today. Wow, markets, oh my God. You're going to hear everywhere. Market's up 700 points, 700 points. Haven't we seen this before? It's going up 700 points, then gave it all back? How does it sustain itself? How does a market sustain itself like this when we still have tremendous inflation? When our income is decreasing, our savings decreasing, our manufacturing is so you're telling me, oh, it doesn't matter? It just goes up 700 because this guy, this idiot, comes out and tells us how everything's wonderful. The guy on CNBC, whatever, he's a nut job. What the hell is his name? Where is he?
Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm.
What's that mean? Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm? What the hell is that? A dose? A dose of what?
Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm.
I like to give him a dose.
Another dose of tech stock enthusiasm sent the broad indexes to a new high for the year, just ahead of a crucial monthly employment report. The S&P 500 rose 1% Thursday, carrying it to another 9-month high, up 10% for 2023.
What about the other 14%?
Read on private sector hiring and benign prices paid numbers in a manufacturing report.
Unbelievable. Benign prices. Oh, it's going to be okay. The manufacturers have no pricing power. They can't raise their prices. That means the economy's good, according to this guy. This guy thinks the economy's doing good because the manufacturers can't raise their prices because there's no demand. Join my gang. Follow my Pro2 color-coded chart. You'll be right.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.